Dr. Maya Caldwell entered the gym like a breeze in a storm, the air rife with sweat, noise, and arrogance. Men flexing, shouting, proving power with bruises. Derek Diesel Brannigan, the MMA trainer who ruled the ring like a tyrant, spotted her calm and saw weakness. To him, she was just a middle-aged black woman with no business stepping onto his mats, a target to humiliate, a lesson to teach. But Maya Caldwell wasn't new to battles. She'd fought quieter wars her whole life. When Derek forced her into the ring 30 seconds later, the storm turned and the trainer lay knocked out cold. Before we go any further, comment where in the world you are watching from, and make sure to subscribe because tomorrow's story is one you don't want to miss. The Saturday morning sun streamed through the tall windows of Brannigan Combat Systems, casting long shadows across the blue mats. Dr. Maya Caldwell's Honda Civic pulled into the parking lot, its tires crunching on loose gravel. She glanced at her grandnephew Jamal in the passenger seat, his 14-year-old face a mix of excitement and nervousness. "Remember what we talked about," Maya said, her voice steady and warm. "You're here to learn defense, not to start fights." Jamal nodded, fidgeting with his gym bag. "I know, Aunt Maya. Thanks for bringing me." The gym's glass doors displayed a massive decal of a snarling bulldog. Inside, the air smelled of sweat and rubber mats. Heavy bags swayed slightly from earlier use, and the thud-thud of someone working mitts echoed from a corner. Maya's eyes swept across the walls, taking in the oversized posters of Derek Diesel Brannigan. In each one, his muscled arms were crossed or raised in victory, tattoos rippling beneath fluorescent lights. The largest poster declared in bold red letters, "Respect is earned through pain." The morning class was already underway. 20 students, mostly teenagers, paired up on the mats. A young instructor with gelled hair demonstrated a basic shoulder lock. "Keep that arm extended," he called out, cranking his partner's arm. More pressure equals more respect. Maya's lips tightened as she watched Jamal's partner copying the move. The boy's shoulder joint twisted at a dangerous angle. "Jamal," she said quietly, stepping forward, "modify that grip. You'll hurt your shoulder joint if you hyperextend like that." The young instructor's head snapped toward her. "Excuse me? The shoulder's natural range of motion doesn't—" Maya began. "Well, well," a deep voice cut through the gym's noise. Derek Brannigan emerged from his office, his 6'2" frame commanding immediate attention. "Looks like we've got ourselves an expert." The class stopped, all eyes turned toward Maya. She stood straight, her athletic frame still fit from years of running track and maintaining her own exercise regimen. "I'm a physical therapist," she said simply. "That position risks injury." Derek's smile didn't reach his eyes. "Oh, Auntie thinks she knows MMA better than my instructors?" His voice dripped with mock surprise. Students snickered. "I know anatomy," Maya replied, her tone professional but firm. "And that technique needs modification." Derek walked closer, his presence filling the space between them. "You know what? Instead of backseat coaching, why don't you show us what you know?" He gestured to the center mat. "Come on, let's give these kids a real demonstration." Maya shook her head. "I'm here for Jamal's class, not to spar." "Afraid?" Derek's grin widened. "Come on, we'll go light. 1 minute. Soft touch." He raised his voice, playing to the crowd. "You said you know the body, right?" More laughter rippled through the room. Jamal stood frozen, his eyes darting between his aunt and the imposing gym owner. Maya felt the heat of anger in her chest, but her face remained composed. She'd spent decades dealing with this kind of condescension. The smart move was to walk away. But sometimes wisdom meant standing your ground. 1 minute, she said finally, with conditions. Derek's eyebrows rose. "Name them." "No headshot," Maya said, her voice clear and firm. "Light contact only, as you said." "Deal." Derek clapped his hands. "Everyone, clear the mat." The students scrambled to form a circle, phones appearing in eager hands. Derek grabbed 2 pairs of 16-ounce gloves and headgear from a nearby rack. "Safety first," he announced with exaggerated courtesy. Wouldn't want Auntie getting hurt. Maya allowed him to strap the gloves onto her hands, his fingers lingering too long on her wrists. She noticed how he positioned himself to tower over her, a classic intimidation tactic. "Don't embarrass yourself, Grandma," he whispered, close enough that only she could hear. Maya met his gaze steadily. She saw past the swagger to something smaller, something that needed to dominate to feel strong. She'd seen it countless times in her career, the ones who confused violence with power. The young instructor stepped into the center with a timer. 1 minute on the clock. Maya rolled her shoulders, settling into a neutral stance. Derek bounced on his toes, showing off for his audience. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead, and somewhere in the back, a heavy bag chain creaked. The bell dinged. The bell's sharp ring cut through the tension. Derek stepped forward, hands lazily raised, a smirk playing across his face. His footwork was casual, almost dismissive as he rolled his shoulders and bounced on the balls of his feet. Maya settled into her stance, knees slightly bent, weight distributed evenly. Years of sprint training had taught her the importance of a solid base. She could feel the familiar coil of controlled power in her legs, the same sensation she'd known on the college track field. Derek threw out a lazy jab, more showboating than striking. The movement was designed to make her flinch, to draw laughs from his audience. Instead, Maya slipped inside with the fluid grace of someone who studied body mechanics for decades. Her left hook whipped into his ribs with a sharp thud that echoed through the gym. The crowd's laughter died immediately. Derek's smirk tightened. He charged forward, throwing a looping overhand right that whistled past Maya's head. She angled off, pivoting smoothly on her back foot. Her calf kick landed with surgical precision, connecting just below his knee. Derek's front leg buckled slightly, and for a moment, surprise flashed across his face. Recovering quickly, Derek lunged forward and grabbed Maya in a clinch. His bulk pressed down as he tried to use his size advantage, muscling her toward the edge of the mat. Maya felt his forearm pressing against her throat, a dirty move that violated their light touch agreement. She didn't panic. Instead, she framed with her forearm, creating space while protecting her neck. Her knee shot up, connecting solidly with his outer thigh. The impact made Derek grunt. Maya disengaged cleanly, sliding back to maintain optimal distance. Frustration darkened Derek's features. The showman's smile had vanished, replaced with something uglier. He swung again, a wild hook that betrayed his growing anger. Maya parried the punch, feeling the force slide past her guard. She stepped in, her movements precise. Jab, jab, cross. The combination flowed like water. Each punch landed clean, snapping Derek's head back. The gym had gone completely silent, except for the sharp sound of gloves meeting their target. Derek's composure cracked. He lunged forward clumsily, dropping his guard. Maya saw the opening with perfect clarity. Her rear straight shot out like a piston, connecting flush with his chin. The impact was clean, technical, devastating. Derek's eyes went blank before he hit the mat. His body fell backward, limbs stiffening as he crashed onto the blue padding. The sound seemed to echo forever in the sudden silence. Maya's breath slowed as she lowered her hands. The timer on the wall read 0.28. She could hear phones clicking as everyone recorded, could feel the weight of dozens of stunned stares. "Auntie," Jamal's voice carried in the quiet gym. "You knocked him out." Maya looked at her grandnephew's wide-opened eyes, then at the circle of shocked faces. Young students who had been laughing minutes ago now stood frozen. The young instructor's mouth hung open. Derek lay motionless on the mat, though his chest rose and fell steadily. Two of his assistant coaches rushed forward to check on him. Maya took a step back, giving them space. Her hands were steady as she began unwrapping the gloves. She'd thrown each punch with control, precision, and necessity, exactly as she had learned to handle every challenge in her life. The silence stretched on, broken only by the soft sounds of Derek beginning to stir. Maya felt the familiar weight of being watched, being judged, being underestimated, and then feared. But this time was different. This time she'd shown exactly who she was. Not just a physical therapist, not just an auntie, but someone who commanded respect through skill and control rather than intimidation. She sat at her kitchen table that evening, watching steam rise from her chamomile tea. The familiar scent usually calmed her nerves, but tonight her phone wouldn't stop buzzing with notifications. Across the table, Jamal hunched over his own phone, his face tight with concern. "Auntie, you need to see this," he said, sliding his phone toward her. "The video's everywhere, but something's not right." Maya leaned forward, adjusting her reading glasses. The clip started with Maya already in the ring, throwing the first punch. There was no